I'm not a nurse, but I am medically trained, so I can do injectable mesotherapy, which is basically feeding the skin with vitamins and minerals and hyaluronic acid. It's not a filler, and it's not Botox. It's a skin boost is what I do. I can boost the skin. So let's say, for example, it's taken somebody 30 years of not looking after their skin, sun damage, using not very good products. You know, it's going to take a longer process to put that right. And in some instances, I would say you need to go and see the doctor or the nurse. You need to have something far more medical that I personally can't do. But I can work on your skin. As I said, I can't do a filler where we're lifting. I can't do the Botox, but there is so much we can do to either have that as well or to prevent that. So basically, as I said, now my favourite treatment is something called mesotherapy. Now, mesotherapy is a way to get a product into your skin. You've got your epidermis, you've got your dermal layers. Your dermal layers is where the blood, the capillaries, what feeds the epidermis. So the best way to get that in is to pierce the skin and put the product in it. That's going to go down. Or you can do an injection. And it could be with a syringe, or it could be with the WOW needling device, or it could be with the Dermapen. Now, I'm going to go bit by bit and just go through each one and what exactly that they do. So, these are the products that I generally put in. Now, we've got a vitamin infusion. It's got so many vitamins and minerals in it. We've got an anti-aging one. And then we've got hyaluronic acid. Now, these are all things which go to feed the skin. Hyaluronic acid, we produce it anyway, but it obviously depletes. As you know, our skin depletes making things as we get older. It becomes a bit lazy, sluggish. So using the injectables is about giving it a boost, feeding it, feeding the soil that feeds the flower, which is your skin. So, as I said, we mix a cocktail up always because everybody is unique. It's bespoke to you. We've got the vitamin one works on, it's very brightening, so for pigmentation. The anti-aging one has got something called rutin in it, which strengthens capillaries. Now this week, well, since we've been on lockdown actually, I had a bit of a flare-up with rosacea, I've said already in previous lives that I've done. So what I did on Sunday, I gave myself a WOW facial. So I mixed up my cocktail. This device has got 12 needles. They are so fine. They are the same thickness as a hair. It's very difficult. You wouldn't be able to see them. And within this device, in there, I mix up a cocktail of what I need for my skin. So I wanted to address the rutin, I wanted to strengthen my capillaries, and I wanted to break down a bit of sun damage that I had there as well. So I mixed that up, and with this device, it's 0.6 mil deep when it goes in. You do stamps all over the face. So it is injecting micro injections all over the face, all over the skin, delivering these incredible ingredients. So it feeds the deeper layers of skin, which then obviously show in the surface. It's not that painful. It's not painful at all. It's a little bit uncomfortable. The worst area is the forehead because it's bony and you tend to sneeze because you've got a lot of sinuses. You then would also target areas. So, you know, most people it's around the mouth and it's around the eye, forehead, especially these days. You know, all these people that normally have Botox and stuff, are not having them. So this is a good alternative when you get back to getting your Botox. Until it works, we could do a course of WOW or a couple of WOW treatments to really feed that skin, and then have your Botox. So they work they work together. It all works together, and I'm all for, you know, a little bit tweaking, as I said, a a little bit of Botox now and then, a bit of filler if it's what you need. Especially if you've lost a lot of weight in your cheeks and you need that plumping. Now, another way of getting these products in, again, I'm talking all about needling at the minute. As I said, I can inject it in, but that would be a more specific area. So what I did on Sunday, when I did my all over with the Wow, so I put all these little pinpricks, and I went over twice. I then targeted, I got the vitamin infusion there, and I went underneath. I had a big sort of pigment area that was starting to come up a bit. I can't get to the salon to have my IPL, so I just injected, just underneath it, I injected the vitamin cocktail, which works on brightening and lightening the skin and breaking down that sun damage. And already 3 days later, I can see the difference. And the capillaries that I had a little bit of stagnant blood there, they've also starting to, they've broken down. As I said, I looked in the mirror this morning and thought, oh wow, that really has worked. So that's that. Now, Wow Facial, anything is a course. So you might want to, you normally have 2 weeks apart with the Wow. You would normally have a course of 3 to 6, 2 weeks apart. It takes 3 weeks for collagen production to be stimulated. So during that process, you're hitting the optimum of collagen production again, then you're hitting it again, you're hitting it again. So you're really feeding all the fibroblasts in the skin that need to be fed to produce the collagen and the elastin. As I said, you have a course of those. Well, you could just have that as a one-off as well if you were going somewhere. 5 days before, have a Wow Facial. If you're going to a wedding or a party, it's a special birthday, and you've forgotten to do anything, and you think, oh, God, I must get my skin boosted, have a Wow. It really will boost the skin. And as I said, if you've got some, around the lip, a bit more, deeper lines that you need to work on, we can then inject a little bit more of the hyaluronic acid under there. Or there are other things that Nicole does. There's Profilo. There are so many other things now, but this is just a basic of what I do. Now, the other piece of equipment, again, it's all needling, this, is a Dermapen, which always sounds a bit confusing to people because they think it's a pen, but it's actually not a pen. It's another needling device. And by the way, that Wow thing, that gets thrown in the sharps box. You're getting a fresh one each time. That's all yours. They've also got gold tips, which helps with inflammation and speeding up the healing. And the needles within that are hollow, so the product goes down the spiral, down the needle and straight into the skin. Now the difference with this is, again, this is 12 needles, same as this, but this works on puncturing the skin. So we would put the product on the skin, the hyaluronic acid. Again, we'll mix up the same cocktail using the same ingredients, or whatever is needed for you, because everybody is different, as I said. Put the product on, and then we run the pen over, and we go in 4 different areas, and we go bit by bit. We do the forehead, then we do the chin, the sides of the face, the cheeks. You can go on the eyelids and under here, same as the Wow. You can do the neck. You can do the chest. It works so well on the décolleté. Now this is 12, as I said, 12 needles, piercing, going really, really, really fast. So fast that it is then piercing the skin so many times. That product now has got a channel to get down to the dermis. So that's how that works. So we do that all over. Again, this works on skin rejuvenation. It works on brightening, it works on sun damage, it works on rosacea, redness. This does the same. This also breaks down the sun damage. It breaks down stagnant pigment, capillaries in the cheeks, as well as delivering those products to deeper layers. It does break down the damage and the stagnant blood. So that is another really good thing. Now these, again, this is recommended 6 weeks apart, but what you can do, they work nicely together. You could have that, then 2 weeks later you could have that, then you could probably go 3 weeks later you could have that, and then 3 weeks later you can have that. you can incorporate, you could do 3 of these, 3 of these. If you've got really bad scarring, this is really good for scarring. It can go up to 2 millimeters. Now, you wouldn't normally do 2 millimeters on somebody's face for the simple fact it's not needed. But if somebody's got really bad scarring from acne, you would go slightly deeper only in that area just to cause some micro trauma. So then the skin will send all that is needed to work on the inflammation that you've caused by using the Dermapen. So you're stimulating the fibroblasts, but at the same time you're creating trauma to the skin. The skin will then send all that it needs to repair it. So you're hitting it from both angles. Hopefully I'm explaining that all well. So I said they work really well together, but this works alone as well. As I said, 6 weeks in between, and a course of 6 is recommended. So that is that. Now, they are the best things for skin rejuvenation. With the needling devices, we always start with a peel. Now, an enzyme peel. We've got different ones. We've got ones for fine lines, ones for sensitive skin, ones for pigmentation, ones for acne. There's a different peel for every client. So you would always start with that, and that is an exfoliation. So it is like a 3-in-1 facial, really, and you would always finish off with a high performance mask. They're like gel masks, and they've got, it's called Wow. It is amazing. It's got so many incredible ingredients in it that really will hydrate, plump, soothe, speed up the healing process. The reason with the Dermapen that it's a 6-week process, because it takes 6 weeks for a cell completely to regenerate. So that is how that one works. But you can do it shallower if you're working on sun damage and not on collagen stimulation. You can use this, but don't do it as deep. You would just be going on the surface and breaking down that sun damage. Same as the Wow. It is okay to use that because you're not going as deep. That's 0.6 mil. This is 0.25, 0.5, 1, 1.5 we tend to use. So it is deeper. That's the difference. Now, as I said, I can't stress to you enough about how good these sort of treatments are. Now, the other equipment that we use something called a Geneo, which is a 4-in-1 facial. It infuses vitamins, it exfoliates, and it does contouring and firming. Now, it works with 2 different heads. We've got one head here, which we put a disc on, which is the exfoliation disc, and it's worked alongside a vitamin infused gel. Now, when you'll be running that over, be it obviously plugged into my machine, and then you run that over in circles all over the face. What happens when those 2 products come together? It causes a chemical reaction and it bubbles, and it will feel quite hot. Actually, you'll feel like, oh my god, that really is hot, because it's causing these bubbles, it's then oxygenating the skin. It's pushing those bubbles into the skin, as well as pushing the product in, pushing the bubbles in to really oxygenate the skin, and exfoliating. So you would do that first. Again, every piece of equipment I'm talking about today, it's all about results, but you need a course really. But a one-off for that, again, is like I said, if you're going for a special occasion, it would be a nice pre-makeup facial. Then we bring in the other head, which this is radio frequency. Now, radio frequency again stimulates the collagen, the fibroblasts in your skin to produce more collagen and elastin. It also works on heating up your fibres in your skin, your collagen fibres. It does get hot, and so what will happen is your skin will be hot. It's heated up those fibres, as it cools down, they shrink. And in the shrinking process, it causes firmness. So that's where you get the contouring. So it's great to do pre-makeup. But also, again, like I said, it takes 3 weeks for the collagen that you're stimulating for that to be produced. So again, that's why you have a course. So you're constantly hitting the collagen, you're constantly hitting the fibroblasts like that. So then you're getting a more burst of collagen, a more burst. That is why you always need a course. But like I said, a one-off is okay. This also has a massaging head on as well, which goes on here. And this is used with a red light. Now the massaging device, you know, massaging the skin creates increased circulation, blood flow, so it's bringing more oxygen to the skin, bigger, better cell turnover, again, rejuvenation. So yeah, they all work really well together. These pods, we've got different serums, different pods for different skin types. We've got some that are working on problematic skin, some that again are working on the sun damage to illuminate, to brighten. So it's why it's quite nice to do your needling as your course and then bring in something like the Geneo as your monthly maintenance facial. It takes, the skin from the bottom to the top takes 28 days. That is why they say to have a monthly facial, because then you're constantly renewing the skin. It takes 6 weeks for the cell to be regenerated, but 28 days for the skin to come from the surface to the top. Now, my final gadget I'm going to talk about is something called a Casey, which is a real brand name. Everybody's heard of a Casey. Some people call it a khaki, but it's actually pronounced Casey. Now, Casey works on stimulating your muscles. It's got several different sort of programs within the machine, but this part is about stimulating your muscles. Now, the Casey was developed, in fact, everything was developed by a doctor or a scientist to work in the medical field. Mesotherapy is medical, and then they bring it into the beauty industry because they think, oh, well, it works for pain relief, it works for this, it works for that, let's bring it into the beauty. The Casey was invented for people that suffer with stroke or Bell's palsy. So when their muscles have become weak on one side, somebody invented the microcurrent, which will send impulses to that muscle as if we're going to the gym and make that muscle contract. It's reminding that muscle what it used to do. So again, if you weren't having the needling and you just wanted to have the Geneo or the Casey, now Geneo, they recommend a course of 6 once a week. Casey is a course of 10, 2 to 3 times a week. 2 to 3 times a week because it's working on your muscles. Now your muscles, as we know, it's like if you go to the gym once a week, it ain't really going to do too much. You need to go more often and you need to really hit those muscles with this, and then you do a monthly maintenance with that. I like to use both these machines together. So I bring the best of the Casey with the best of the Geneo. So what I like to do, they say firm skin holds a muscle in place. But if we're working on firming the muscle as well as firming the skin, so we can separate both the heads, we can just use the radio frequency of part of the Geneo. We don't have to use the other bit if we don't need to. Again, every treatment can be done bespoke to your needs, your specific needs. Most people suffer with the jowl lift, so that's why I always like to do a jowl lift with the Casey. And round the eyes, again, I can use the same prongs and I can work all around the eye. And then this will be firming the skin. So the two together, you're going to have far more success. and everybody that's on courses at the minute, it's normally a monthly top up. So yeah, we're all like desperate to get our top up. So I would probably recommend to people that when we reopen, we'll do some good deals. But it's probably good to have a little bit of, you know, maybe a half a course or something, just to really give that muscle back its memory. That's with the Casey, because that's working on muscles. And like we know, muscles have a very good memory. So they do come back quick. And yeah, it works on plumping up the cheeks. It really, really does. But as I said, if somebody's lost a lot of weight and they're quite drawn, it's not going to really do a lot. I would then probably suggest that they saw Nicole and then they worked on having, you know, just a trickle of filler. It doesn't have to look like you're a squirrel and your cheeks are all puffed up. It doesn't look like that. If it's done well, it just makes you look more healthy. And at the end of the day, that's what all this is about. You never have people say to you, oh my God, what have you done to your skin? What they tend to say is, oh my God, you look really well. God, your skin looks good. And that's what it's all about, really. Getting our skin to work for itself. It is an incredible piece of kit. It really is science. It's remarkable how it can repair itself and heal itself and regenerate, really. So all these tools here that I've got is my favourite go-to gadgets, my favourite pieces of equipment. I said all medical grade. They all work well within their own right. Some are more, you know, really get in there than others. These are more maintenance, like I said. And, you know, a regular facial is lovely. Again, that is still going to have a huge effect. But again, as I said, it depends what you're looking for. I'm all about results. I'm all about, let's give it its best shot. Let's give it everything. And because there's no point, I don't think, wasting your money on doing something that's not quite as in depth, to then go, oh, go on, I wish I'd invested in that now. So I say, let's bring out the big guns. Let's get the really result-driven devices working on your skin. And then it's a question of maintenance with good products and monthly facials. Does anybody want to ask me anything? It's not a problem if anybody doesn't. As I said, this will be on catch-up, so I think I've said everything I like to say. And thank you all for watching. As I said, if anybody's got any later questions at any other time, send me a message and I will do my best to answer it. And if I don't know the answer, I will find the answer. But I've been working with all of this equipment now for a very long time. I absolutely love it. I'm passionate about what I do with it. I use everything on myself. I'm a little bit of a junkie. I love needling. It is the way forward. Anyway, wishing you all a fantastic rest of your day and catch you soon.